Hello everybody, today is July 9th, 2024. I have 9 different names that I'm going to share with you, and let's get into it. So I am a day trader, swing trader. I base my decisions on the 1 day chart, and then my entries fluctuate between the 1 minute up to the 30-minute time frame. This is not financial advice. If you want to make any investment decisions, please do your own due diligence. This is just for information or educational purposes. And if you see or find any utility on these videos, please leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. It would be pretty helpful. Anyways, Baba was up 3% today. And I was talking about Baba about somewhere in this area in the mid of last month, and what I was liking about it wasn't here, it was somewhere in this area right here. What I liked about it was that it was bouncing on the 73.2 level, and it did for quite a few days. My thesis was, and this was probably gonna bounce and keep going, or not keep going, but at least start going towards the next resistance level, which is 77. But what happened is that it broke this support, then it came back and it kind of like bounced into this area, and now we're here, retested the support at 73, and then it went back up. So I did buy some calls today. I like the behavior on the MACD and the TSI. I also like how this is starting to look. Maybe it was a little bit premature. I'm willing to take that risk right now. One of the things that could be a little bit of a, I guess, a cautious sign or whatnot is the 35 SMA, and then you have the resistance level right here that I just mentioned, and then the next level would be the 200 EMA. Anyways, I do think that we have a decent setup right here. Just keep an eye on the resistance, keep an eye on the SMA 35 for now, or on this SMA indicator right here. And well, you know, another thing that we have this week is, and we have quite a few events going on. So Powell is going to be talking tomorrow, and then we have CPI, and then we have PPI. So I'm still feel like this is going to perform decently. So I like Baba right now. I did post this on X earlier today, or no, actually 20 minutes ago. So I actually like the behavior of Baba right now. So keep an eye on this, or do a little research on this and how you feel about entering. I'm bullish on this setup right now, and we'll see how it works. Again, I like the MACD and the TSI, how it's working as well. What I have next? Cava. Well, you have this ascending triangle here, and to be honest, somewhere in this area right here, actually right up here, right over here, I was bearish on Cava. And then as the days progressed and I started looking this setup, well, I realized this could be a nice bullish setup. And the reason why was, well, let's go back to this. The reason why I was bearish on this is because it looked pretty extended on these areas, on the MACD and the TSI, also the RSI. So my thesis was, well, this has to take a breather, and you have a nice support level right here. So this might end up moving down, which it didn't. But what happened is that you had these indicators cooling down, and then you started getting a little bit tight on this area, which basically triggered the thought of thinking, well, you have an obvious ascending triangle, and what is coming next, considering how tight things are here, well, it's gonna keep going up. But yesterday you had a candle telling, you know, a story, and I saw something very interesting on X today, and somebody was saying wicks do all the damage and the body of the candle tells you story. Well, what is the story of this candle? If you want to use that thought process, is that sellers were in control. Well, today this went down almost 5%. It was up to 5% at one point today. So yeah, because it went all the way down here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm bearish for now on Cava. I think you have a pretty nice support area right here with very low liquidity continuing all the way down here. And I know there's a lot of people that are very bullish on Cava, and I totally understand that, but on the short term at least, I think that you still have room to keep going down. The RSI is not super, I guess, extended in this area, even though it's at 50, which means that there's obviously no neutrality as far as the RSI goes, but still looking down, and the same with the MACD and the TSI. There is an increase on selling volume as well. You can see it right here. So that is pretty interesting how this is behaving, and you had more volume today than yesterday, as you can see here, and then it did progress. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I'm a little bit bearish on Cava based upon what this candle is telling you. Obviously, you know, it couldn't break this resistance level, and now it broke the pattern. I think this is going to continue going down. Let's see, let me look if I mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned Dell Sunday and yesterday. So on Sunday's video I mentioned Dell, and yesterday, and now today I'm here. So I drew this on Dell. I post this on X as well with this drawing right here. And what I liked about it is the fact that it's been moving in this direction. You still have low liquidity here, but today was interesting. If we go back to the 1 minute candle chart, you had a pretty aggressive start of the day. Let's start right here. So this is the beginning of the day. It actually rallied. When I was looking at this, I was like, oh wow, this is going to continue going and break this pattern, which is this area right here. This line right here is the arrow that I drew right here, is this arrow right here, so don't get confused. So it was breaking this pattern right here, and then it totally collapsed. It lost momentum and just came down violently. I wish I was looking at this, because this was a beautiful, if you see them at the end of TSI, opportunity to short for the day. But anyways, it just came down, tried to recover, didn't work out, and then it was basically surfing the 200 EMA, and then pretty much did the same. It went down a little bit later in the middle of the day, kept going down, and then it actually got a little bit of momentum on the way back, but still it didn't. It basically lost all the gains that you had in when market open. Anyways, I think it's worth keeping an eye on Dell. Let's take a look at this. This is not the best candle you want to see when you're breaking this pattern, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I still like the MACD and the TSI. This is still in play. I don't have any positions on this, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Dell. Enphase, that's what I have next. And I'm going to mention Jumia as well, which wasn't on my list, so I'm going to have more than 9. Anyways, Enphase, I'm bullish on this thing. I mentioned Enphase yesterday. And did I mention it? Yeah, yesterday. So what I like is, and I actually put, I think I did post something about it on Sunday about Enphase. What I like about this, let's get into this, or actually Thursday of last week, is how the MACD and the TSI, the divergence between the lines and the signal lines. I like seeing this, and now they are curling and they are about to cross the signal lines. The RSI is already there. You have momentum here. It's not too spectacular as far as volume goes, but just keep an eye. I think these lines are going to merge right at the time we hit 106, which is resistance. Keep an eye on that. Then you have this area right here. You have some volume here or liquidity here, but then you have this gap. I think there is room for 120 if there is a little bit more of momentum here. We'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and actually I'm going to write this down because my list is pretty big and sometimes I get distracted with all these names. So I'm putting down Dell and Enphase for possible entries either tomorrow or the next day. But I really like seeing this. Enphase, if you're following this chart is looking good. It's looking good on the indicators, it's looking good on the candles, it's looking good on how it bounced on support right here at 95.4, give or take. So yeah, keep Enphase on your watch list. Now I want to mention, let's do Jumia. Let me add this to my list. Sorry about that. Okay, Jumia, what an incredible day. If any of you were keeping an eye on this area right here and then went long and today got this run, I'm super happy for you. I was obviously not on this name. I shorted this name somewhere here. I got out on this big old candle and then I left it alone. I wasn't expecting this, but I think there was some AI news that actually pushed Jumia this much. I'm not too sure. I didn't follow exactly what happens. Let's see if what happened with Jumia. Jumia hits after benchmark begins coverage with buy rate. Yeah, but there was some news. It was I think there was some AI related news, but this was fantastic. Now, would I go long tomorrow? Probably not. I mean, you already got 30% here, so you might see a red candle coming up or not. I just wanted to mention this because this was one of the names that I was talking about when we were up here, and the reason why is because this was pretty extended. I was saying, you know, if you break this support level, it's gonna drop. So I think I got some put somewhere in this area right here, and then it actually worked out. But I got out in this big candle, that's for sure. And then I was just looking at it, and I was liking this. But I don't think, when was the last time I mentioned Jumia? I didn't do it this week at all. So anyways, I like the look of this and how these candles were playing on the 720 level. And now we're here. We are at 11. This was great. If any of you was in this, I'm super happy for you. Next, let's do Netflix. So it was flat today. You know, when I was looking at Netflix today, I thought it was gonna break this level right here because it looked like it. Let's go to that 1 minute. And again, you had this kind of rally in the beginning of the day. You were up to, what is this, 95, and then it actually lost momentum. Volume went down, and you can see how the lack of volume on these candles right here, and just kept going down and down. Anyways, I think this support level at 690 is critical if you think that this is going to continue. I do think that Netflix has room to go to 700, but to be honest, this might be a good thing. Just give it a little bit of a breather right here, have these indicators cool down a little bit, and then wait for the next move. Earnings are coming. There might be a little rally, or there might be a little sell-off into earnings, and then you might see, depending on the earnings report, you might see a move. But I think there is room for 700, and we'll see how this behaves. But I still like Netflix. I was talking about Netflix back here when it was in May, the beginning of May, and look at this giant move. So if you cut that would be fantastic. I definitely mentioned Netflix because of the setup on the MACD and the TSI. When I see this type of divergence, I just salivate. You know, I didn't enter on this because I was on Microsoft, and go to that chart and let me know what was going on Microsoft in the beginning of May. It was pretty much the same setup. Anyways, I have this name that I like. So PDD, I think I'm gonna write this down because this might be a tomorrow entry or the next day. We'll see how things go this week. I don't like to trade on CPI and that sort of stuff. It gets too volatile and I just panic. So I don't like that. But anyways, I like this chart. I like the MACD, the TSI. They're looking great. The fact that the price action bounced on support at 131, let's say, is great. Now you have the SMA 35. You have to worry about this, but I think tomorrow is probably gonna keep going up. I like this setup. I did get a couple of puts a few days ago, and it was in this area right here, just because I would say, I was looking at how things were behaving on these indicators, and I was like, if it breaks the 35 SMA, it's just gonna continue going down. So I kept these puts for, I think, 1 day or 2, and that was it. So they worked out. It wasn't a lot of money, but they were green. And anyways, now I like this to the upside. I don't see anything really solid other than maybe, I don't know, 142 for resistance, but definitely has a good chance to keep going up towards 152. Keep an eye on this name. I really like it. So my names so far that I really gonna keep an eye on are Dell, Enphase, and PDD. What else do we have? Shopify. Shopify is, I don't know how I feel. I have calls on Shopify. I bought calls somewhere, I think on this candle right here, which was Tuesday. Yeah. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna sell tomorrow. I don't know. Today was down almost 2%. If you go to the 1 minute chart, this is just fucking dog water. Look at this. So it totally lost momentum, and then it got this looks beautiful for a short, but anyways, and then it didn't do much. You got this move right here, and then I don't know, look at this crap right here. So what I used to like, or what I'm still kind of like about Shopify, is that you have very little liquidity here. You're still playing on the 35 SMA and the 200 EMA. I like that. These indicators are not too extended. I like it, but what is happening also is that they're starting to curl into the signal line and going towards under the zero line, which tells me that this might continue going down. If that is the case, I'm obviously gonna sell. I would probably be red. That would totally suck, but it is what it is. But I do like, in a way, I guess maybe longer term, the setup that we see here. We might see a little bit of choppiness and then a continuation up here. You also have earnings on by the end of the month, and the last earnings were nothing but a disaster for them, even though their report wasn't that bad, but the market didn't like whatever guidance they had, and here we see what we see. Anyways, I'll wait until tomorrow. I might sell tomorrow. I didn't like today. Today was again a very big tease in the beginning of the day, and then it totally dumped and nothing else happened. This is not the kind of chart that you want to see. This is at least for today, it was a total disaster in my opinion. So anyways, that's Shopify for you right now. Not a sector that was actually doing, no, before I go to this, sorry, let's do this. TTD. So you have another ascending triangle here, just like the one we had in Cava, but look at this. It was just, I actually bought some calls right here, right on this area, and now we are up here. It was almost 2.5% today to the upside. That is fantastic. This was a great move. I don't see much going on after this, but I think we definitely have more room to go. Ooh, what is next? We have this level right here, which is a pretty old one. So actually, look at this. Look how old this level is. So you have this, if we redo that, and then I guess what is next? Really, you have what, 101? No, what is this? Sorry about this. 110. I don't know if this is gonna get to 110, but this is a pretty interesting setup. It did work out. I think the TSI and the MACD still have a little bit more room. The RSI has room to continue going up. So it would be expected to have a couple of green days coming up, and I cannot, I guess, assume anything else other than that, but to me this looks pretty bullish. It is working fantastic. Yesterday it was pretty much flat, under 1% red, and then now you have almost 2.5%. It was a pretty nice day. It was a pretty nice setup, which I did call a few times this was on my video on Sunday, and it was also on X. I think I mentioned this on X quite a few days back. So beautiful setup. Now we see this is playing out pretty nicely, and then I want to do the financial sector. So look at this right here. You also have this very nice pattern right here that is starting to play out. Every single financial name that at least I have on my list, I shouldn't say every single one, but every of the names that I have on my list: Bank of America, Citi, JP Morgan, where is it? I think that's all I have, I believe. Well, SoFi, whatever. SoFi is dog water. I don't like SoFi, at least for now. They are all moving up. They had a pretty good day today. So I like this pattern. I like how this looks. Let's keep an eye on the 1 day. Yeah, it was just pretty consistent the whole day, and then, at the end of the day, it kind of lost momentum, but it wasn't too dramatic. I like this, the setup that we had. I guess in the beginning of the day it got a little choppy, but then it just went up again. So XLF, all the financials did pretty decently. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, this week we have a few more things coming up. Powell told this morning, maybe that's the reason why things were a little bit choppy in the beginning of the day. Maybe, I don't know. But then you have Powell again speech tomorrow, and then you have CPI, PPI for the rest of the week. We'll see how those numbers come out. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, and see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.